Unfortunately, creating this documentary, copyright issues were a real pain in the ass. Well, do you see? If you don't see, is your mind open and are you prepared to see?
Here you are, sir. Thank you.
They use their tongues to deceive.
The venom of snakes is under their lips. Their mouths are full of bitterness and curses, and in their paths nothing but ruins and misery. And the fear of God is not before their eyes. They have taken the hearts and minds of our leaders. They have recruited the rich and the powerful, and they have blinded us to the truth. Our human spirit is corrupted. Why do we worship greed? Because outside the limit of our sight, feeding of us, perched on top of us, from birth to death,
Our owners!
they have us, they control us, they are our masters. Wake up, they are all around you. The parasites do their best to distract humanity in order to disconnect humanity from their spiritual nature. Technology is used to distract and dumb down humanity. Watching any screen suppresses consciousness. Sometimes, when I watch TV, I stop being myself, and I want to start a series or have my own talk show. Or I'm on the news, getting out of a limo, going someplace important. Indoctrination and propaganda keep humanity busy with stupid and idiotic ideas and stupid goals in life. Excuse me, are you need anybody? Maybe. I've got my own tools. This is a union job. Mexicans having fun. So, then may I please speak with the shop steward? Sir? This scene shows that in Western countries like Western Europe, Australia and the United States, immigrants have more rights than natives. At this point in time, some illegals have more rights than natives. The Coudenhove Calorie Plan is not a conspiracy theory. Once the parasites have implanted their smart technology, made everybody dependent on their artificial web, everybody has a digital ID, people can only sell and pay with digital money, destroyed most of the local food production and factories, people lose their right to exist. Homelessness, drug addiction and refugee camps are rampant. Steel mills were laying people off left and right. They finally went under. We gave the steel companies a break when they needed it. You know what they gave themselves? Raises. The golden rule, he who has the gold makes the rules. When they close one more factory, we should take a sledge to one of their fancy fucking foreign cars.
7 luscious hues.
Our impulses are being redirected. We live in an artificially induced state of consciousness that resembles sleep. That goddamn hacker again! The movement was begun 8 months ago by a small group of scientists who discovered quite by accident the signals being sent. Humans who get or hold on to a job, as long as it lasts, will help create the parasite's prison system to control humans. The poor and the underclass are growing. Racial justice and human rights are non-existent. They have created a repressive society, and we are their unwitting accomplices. Their intention to rule rests with the annihilation of consciousness. We have been lulled into a trance. They have made us indifferent to ourselves, to others. We are focused only on our own gain. Please understand, they are safe as long as they are not discovered. That's their primary method of survival. Keep us asleep, keep us selfish, keep us sedated. They are dismantling the sleeping middle class. More and more people are becoming poor. We are their cattle. We are being bred for slavery. We cannot break their signal. Our transmitter is not powerful enough. The signal must be shut off at the source.
Daddy, I have a headache.
Nada investigates the church nearby the refugee camp. The church is used by the resistance for the production of special sunglasses and broadcasting. Nada sees a sign, a writing on the wall. It says, "They live, we sleep." What is the meaning of "they live, we sleep"? Apparently, the level of consciousness humans have resembles sleep, and the parasites can only live as long as they can feed on humans. As soon as humans wake up, the parasites can't exist any longer. The parasites need human energy in order to be alive. While Nada is investigating the activities in the church, he is caught red-handed by the blind man from the resistance. The blind man doesn't ask who Nada is. Instead, he wants to feel Nada's face and hands. Now the blind man knows Nada is human and not a parasite. Parasites are born liars and prefer not to do manual labor. Parasites will always aim for power, prestige and money, and force humans to work for them and suffer. Let me touch your face. It's good. Now your hands. You're working, man. Yes, sir. Here, it's a revolution. Let me show you. I got to be going. Maybe some other time. This world may have blinded me, but the Lord has let me see. You'll be back. You'll be back. Hey, what's happening? I was inside there. All kind of cardboard boxes, some kind of lab set. What do you mean? There's no singing. It's a tape recorder. Leave it alone, man. It ain't of my business, ain't none of yours. Yeah, but our boy Gilbert is in there helping them. The black man wants to stay ignorant in order not to get into trouble. I got a job now and I plan on keeping it. I'm walking a white line all the time. I don't bother nobody, nobody bothers me. You better start doing the same. Humans who want to stay ignorant are dangerous, for they allow or even help evil to do harm to the human race. White line is in the middle of the road. It's the worst place to drive. When Nada puts on the sunglasses and looks through them, the sunglasses shine a different light on how to perceive his world. He doesn't see the world anymore he has been spoon-fed since birth. Nada sees the world as it really is, a manipulated world, full of propaganda, indoctrination and distraction.
What's your problem? I said, what's your problem?
And human like monsters.
Here.
With a different view, Nada is investigating the world around him. It seems the monsters have intermingled with the human race. These monsters seem to have a superficial mindset. For them, it's all about outer appearance, gaining wealth, and use humans as their servants, their subordinates. For these monsters, it seems easy to get a promotion, granted by another monster in a position of power.
So depressed. I don't know what to do. Hey, go for it, man. It's easy for you to say you got the promotion.
Look, it'll come, all right? Just don't worry about it.
Nada sees Gilbert, who helps the refugees, rushing to the church. The church is used by the resistance as their home base. Nada follows Gilbert into the church to investigate what he's doing. This turned out to be a telling scene, for there is a meeting from people of the resistance and they are in a kind of argument how to reach their goal to wake up humanity. Gilbert says, "We've got to find strong people." Gilbert isn't talking about strong muscles, but about principles. Most humans are weak, meek, they are obedient sheep. And their principles are flexible as long as it suits them.
We're just not going to reach enough people. We got to find new people, strong people, people that'll work with us.
Nada receives a week's pay from Frank, who apparently followed him. Nada verifies Frank is human and wants Frank to put on the sunglasses. Frank doesn't want to be involved in Nada's murders and refuses to put the sunglasses on. A long and violent physical fight ensues. This fight was the longest fight scene in the movie for a long time. The fight symbolizes how difficult it is to let see any human the reality of the world around them. The spell is very powerful and almost impossible to break free from. However, once a true human being sees the prison he is living in, he is prepared to fight to regain his freedom. Now Frank has seen the monsters, he joins Nada to free humanity.
I want a room.
Look around the environment we live in. Carbon dioxide, fluorocarbons and methane have increased. Since 1958, Earth is being acclimatized. They are turning our atmosphere into their atmosphere. What do these things want? Why are they here? It's in their best interests. They are free enterprises. Earth is just another developing planet, their third world. We are like a natural resource to them. Deplete the planet, move on to another. They want benign indifference. They want us drowsy. We could be pets, we could be food, but all we really are is livestock. Our projections show that by the year 2025, not only America, but the entire planet will be under the protection and the dominion of this power alliance. Frank and Nada happen to drop by a meeting from the human power elite, which consists of monsters and corrupt human beings. This scene attributes special attention to the beautiful ceiling and architecture of this room. Why? This ceiling has no added value to the scene and storyline, but this movie is a documentary for those who can see. This is typical architecture from the previous civilization. This worldwide civilization existed approximately 170 years ago and has been erased completely from history by the monsters, who back then took control of the earth and invented the Industrial Revolution as an excuse to implement their technology, to fully control humanity. Frank and Nada are welcomed by a man who was also a refugee at the camp. Apparently, he joined the monsters in exchange for a good life with money, luxury and power. He is an example that many humans don't have a well-developed consciousness and can easily be corrupted. At first, he didn't know. Frank and Nada stay loyal to the human race and are there to destroy the transmitter, which suppresses humanity's consciousness. I thought you boys understood. It's business, that's all it is. You still don't get it, do you boys? There ain't no countries anymore, no more good guys. They are running the whole show. They own everything, the whole goddamn planet. They can do whatever they want. How can humans recognize these monsters in our world? In Western society, these monsters have a name: psychopaths. Most narcissists are monsters as well, but who decides who is a narcissist? It's just the opinion of a psychologist who can as easily be deceived by these monsters as every other human. For these monsters are master deceivers and nasty liars. Psychological tests can be corrupted as well by not being honest when answering questions and not being honest presenting the outcome. Do psychologists publish test results for people who attained important positions in society? The answer is no. Only by dealing with these monsters for some time, experienced humans can recognize them sooner or later by their behavior and deeds. Compared to real and empathic humans, psychopaths and narcissists have a different brain structure and functioning. Not only is their brain physiology different, but their brain activity is divergent as well. Both traits can't be hidden by these monsters. Movies mostly portray psychopaths with clear traits like angry eyes. In real life, psychopaths can be very charming and even funny, but their behavior always has a clear goal. They want to be in a position of power, control and prestige. They want your energy. From a young age, they often crave attention and are notorious liars. Most psychopaths are very intelligent and know that they are psychopaths. At school, children were taught almost nothing about psychopathy, narcissism, and Machiavellianism, the dark triad. Why? Because psychopaths don't want humans to know. psychopaths have full control over westernized countries. Democracy is an illusion, rule of law is an illusion, money is an illusion. Even the Industrial Revolution is an illusion because it's the gradual implementation of inhumane technology from the monsters to fully control humanity and Earth's resources. The monsters want humans to be fully dependent on their centralized systems with smart control. The best way to control humans is food. For this reason, local food production has been destroyed for decades. Food production that's allowed is regulated and centralized. According to official history, the Industrial Revolution started in Great Britain, soon to be followed by Northwest Europe. Nowadays, Great Britain's industry has almost vanished. Unemployment, poverty, and drug abuse are rampant. In former industrial cities, many downtown shops now are empty. Once beautiful cities are collapsing and being flooded with people from third world countries who expect to get a luxury lifestyle. Most big cities in Western Europe and the United States of America are collapsing as well.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Why do these monsters want to destroy local farmers and industry? They forced local craftsmanship to vanish and replaced it with big multinationals which relocated industry to third world countries. Once a low-wage country is westernized and humans are dependent on the monster's technology with their digital ID and digital money, all controlled by the psychopath, again industry will be relocated to countries with lower wages. The process of introducing technology in third world countries happens almost overnight. People who first were independent and grew their own food now are dependent on digital money, government and big corporations, all controlled by the monsters with smart artificial intelligence. All Western government, banking and big organizations do have a hierarchical structure with power-hungry psychopaths on important positions. And yes, corrupt or flexible humans can attain important positions, for they know how to be obedient. Non-functioning psychopaths who can't control their impulses mostly end up in prison when caught. Functioning or even high-functioning psychopaths participate in the workforce and wreak havoc on society. Narcissists cause a lot of distress and trauma within relationships. For human beings, it's hard to understand narcissism and psychopathy. Unfortunately, a human needs to see and experience their true nature in order to see what monsters these things are, in order to understand why this world is in such a mess. One could differentiate between psychopaths who are part of the so-called unelected elites and attend meetings like Bilderberg and World Economic Forum, and psychopaths who do not belong to these elite families. The elite psychopaths not only know they are psychopaths, but also know humans are spiritual beings. Like everything else has a spiritual essence. They don't want humans to know, for they need this human essence or energy in order to exist. Psychopaths who aren't born in these elite families still are able to attain important positions in the hierarchical system. For humans, it's almost impossible to attain powerful positions unless they are blackmailed or corrupt. Most psychopaths who belong to the elite are Satanists. Simply said, Satanism is giving energy to the non-incarnated parasitic entities which would cease to exist when given no energy. These entities are void of spiritual essence and dark for those who can see spiritual energies. Only well-developed clairvoyants can see these parasitic entities, but they prefer not to be seen at all. On the other hand, humans do have spiritual essence, or whatever people call it. Humans can be categorized in colors. To see someone's true colors means you see what someone is really like, without persona. So, psychopaths can be seen by clairvoyants, but most clairvoyants don't know these monsters are not human. Having a spiritual gift doesn't mean being wise and having a good understanding how this messed up world really works. These dark entities can see living beings' energy fields or auras. They can not only read thoughts, but they can implement thoughts into psychopaths as well, as if these were their own thoughts. These dark entities do guide psychopaths when making important decisions in order to be beneficial for the collective agenda for these parasites. That's what they are, parasites. Satanists know their thoughts are not fully theirs, but they know they have to serve and feed these entities, which could be themselves when they are not incarnated in human flesh. Psychopaths and these dark entities work together to fully gain control over humanity on planet Earth, and the Satanist is in the know. Psychopaths are guided from the other side, albeit not human nor divine. These dark entities can see the true colors of every human being, read your mind and see who you really are, and what you're up to. These entities don't like strong people, as mentioned in They Live. These dark entities also recognize weak and corrupt humans. These entities make sure only psychopaths get all powerful and important positions in the system of the parasites. Consequently, the system is fully in control by the parasites. However, weak, corrupt and blackmailed people can get an important position in the system of the parasites, for these weak people know what to do and know how to self-censor to keep their career. Strong and intelligent people don't get important positions, and dealing with the psychopath will abuse, screw or destroy this human whenever he can and get away with it. Intelligence, education and outer appearance is not a hallmark of a well-developed consciousness and wisdom. Psychopaths don't have a consciousness at all and have zero wisdom. What are these monsters, which we know as psychopaths? In the movie The Matrix, Mr. Smith seems to be a sentient program. All psychopaths and most narcissists behave according some predictable program, which can be considered as characteristic traits. No single psychopath can feel love or empathy. They pretend to have these feelings, for they don't want humans to know what they truly are, psychopaths. Are psychopaths artificial created souls, which can incarnate? Or are they former genuine souls who lost their essence, humanity, or connection to God? Are they reptilians? Probably we will know soon. Setting the system offside, disobedience and being self-sufficient in local communities is a key to start with. Psychopaths and narcissists can be found internationally, nationally and locally on positions where they have power and are in control. So, beware of these false prophets and notorious liars.